Hello, everybody.
Good standing. At Detroit Mercy and request permission to practice pursuant to Michigan Court Rule 8.120B under the supervision of Attorney Guevara.
Okay, sir, can I have you state your name?
Gorgeous and son.
All right, and do you have any objection to the request that the student attorney is making?
No.
Okay, I'm going to grant your request noting that your supervisor is present with you in the courtroom. Today's the date and time set for a pretrial. Looks like we have a resolution. Could you place the plea offer on the record?
Yes, Shadow, we moved that account of allowing an unlicensed driver to drive and civil infraction of impeding traffic. If it then pleads those charges, the court accepts, we move to dismiss the legal charges.
All right, is that your understanding of the plea offer?
Yes, so my client would like to avail himself to the plea offer.
Okay, so please raise your right hand.
From my hand, when I swear for God, I don't put my God, his name, I gotta be true.
Sure, so you can swear
It's
or.
God always first.
Okay.
I swear for God, I'm gonna say the truth.
Okay, could you just let me provide the oath to you and then you could respond? Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes,
Okay, thank you, sir. Did you have an opportunity to speak to your attorney and review this advice of rights form?
she explained to me everything, yes.
Okay, and did you answer the questions on this form truthfully?
Everything she told me true, yes.
Okay, and did you sign here toward the bottom of the second page?
I did.
Do you understand that the offense that you intend to plead guilty to today, it is a misdemeanor and it could carry a maximum penalty of 90 days in jail and or a fine of $500?
I'd be very happy to go to jail if I am wrong, yeah.
Oh, but I'm not telling you that you are going to jail. I have to tell you what the maximum penalty could be.
Okay, yeah, she told me that.
Okay.
She told me the same thing you say, yes.
Okay, great. And then do you also understand that for the civil infraction of impeding traffic, there could be a $200 fine attached? Is that
Yes.
it? Okay. Do you understand that you have the right to a trial? You have a constitutional right to a jury trial if you want to go to trial in this case.
Yes, she told me that too.
And did you go through each of the rights that you would have if you did go to trial? Yes? Okay. Do you understand, sir, that if I accept your plea today, you will give up your right to go to trial? Could you say yes or no?
Yes,
Okay, and let's see, has anyone promised you anything or threatened you in any way in order to get you to plead guilty?
nobody tells me no.
Is this your choice to do this today?
Yes,
And do you understand that if I accept your plea today, if you were to change your mind and want to appeal your plea, the only way you'd get to do that is if you were granted permission to appeal from the higher court.
yes,
Do you also understand that upon entering a guilty plea today, you could be giving up certain rights or issues on an appeal that you would have otherwise had if you went to trial?
yes,
Knowing all of this, is it still your decision to proceed?
yes.
All right, let me take your attention back to August 19th of 2024. On that day, were you in the city of Troy? August 19th?
Yeah, I just moved the area in the same day. That 2 days later, I was living in Harrison Township. Then I moved there, yes.
Okay, and it's alleged that you were in the area of John R. Road and Larchwood on that day
Yes,
when you allowed an unlicensed person to operate your vehicle. How do you plead? Guilty or not guilty?
guilty, guilty.
Okay, and then there's a separate allegation that on that day you impeded traffic with the vehicle. Do you plead responsible or not responsible?
Yes, responsible.
Are the attorneys satisfied with the taking of the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay,
I need to just make one matter for the record. English is Mr. Vergie's second language,
okay,
so just so that he was fully comfortable, I translated the entire plea agreement for him in Arabic. So I just wanted to make a record of that.
thank you for doing that. Are you able to hear and understand me when I'm speaking to you in English on the record, sir?
I understand very good, but I can't hear you really good.
Oh, yeah, I'm not talking loud enough?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Okay, and was it also helpful that that advice of rights form was translated to you in Arabic as well?
Yeah, I speak both languages.
Okay, all right. So at this point, are the attorneys satisfied with the taking of the plea? I think you indicated yes.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to accept your guilty plea and your responsible plea, sir. And then at this point, I'll grant the motion to dismiss the original charges as it relates to sentencing. I know his license is still suspended. Is that accurate?
So right now, Your Honor, he is waiting on a date for the he's waiting for a driving reexamination date. His physician, so originally this was, his license was suspended for a medical concern.
Sure.
His neurologists have faxed over all the appropriate information. I do have copies of it if needed. It was sent over to the state of Michigan back in July. So right now we're just waiting for a letter to come in for the reexamination date. Because he moved, it just delayed it a little bit.
Okay, well, I know he didn't drive here today because I saw him walking along the street to get to the courthouse here before 8:30. So
What she said, she see me walking?
I did. I saw.
True, I walk,
I
yes,
saw you.
I walk.
So I know you didn't drive here today, which is good. You understand.
The first time too, I walk from General 14 miles to here too.
I know.
And today I walk from there to, see how I go through?
I saw.
And I am innocent guy.
Yes.
And when I say for God, if you kick my head, I would never swear for God lie.
Okay, but listen.
Always God first.
Listen.
All right.
I want you to just
Good
work.
thing you see me.
I did. I want you to work through the issues that you have with your doctor and the Secretary of State, and do not drive until your license is reinstated. Do you understand that?
Your Honor, my license, I went to 5 police station. Everybody told me your license is good. I told them, no, the Secretary of State told me your license is no good. I went even to Sheriff Police on Mental Clemens, where the jail is. I told them, but my license is good. They told me you don't have no record. Your license is good. You don't have no problem.
Okay, but listen, I'm
And I went.
telling you right
Yes,
now.
yes.
I'm telling you right now that you still have to follow through with this process that your attorney was discussing with you and get the medical documentation, and then Secretary of State has to clear you to give you your license back. So for now, you need to keep walking. Can you do this?
What about winter time?
Well, we might have to come up with something else, but you might have some information from Secretary of State by then. But until then, you cannot drive until your license is reinstated. Do you understand?
I'm very happy you see me walking.
Okay,
I'm very happy.
so at this point, sir, I am going to sentence you today. I'm only imposing fines and costs. I don't know that much about your financial situation, so if you need a time to pay or a payment plan, you can request it. But there's a set fine for the civil infraction, it's $200, and for the misdemeanor, it's $265. But if he needs payment plan or opportunities for other arrangements, he can request at the traffic criminal counter, and they'll go through all of that with him and determine an ability to pay and give him some accommodation if it's needed.
I will assist him with that. He is currently on disability. That's the only
Sure.
source of income, but I'll make sure I will assist him with that
So those are
process.
the minimum set fines, but I have no issue with any accommodation that they determine that he's eligible for, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, so that's it, you're all set. Okay,
He was
thank you.
so cute. I just love him.
003233. This is the people of the city of Troy versus DeJuan Jerome Fletcher.
Good morning, Your Honor. My name is Denisha Tate, and I am a second-year law student at Detroit Mercy School of Law in good standing, and I request permission to practice pursuant to Michigan Court Rule 8.120B under the supervision of Attorney Susanna Gabarra.
Could you state your name, sir?
Juan Fletcher,
Mr. Fletcher, are you still using your mailing address on Monterey Street?
yes,
Do you have any objection to the request that the student attorney has made on your behalf? All right, I'm going to grant it. I'll note that her supervisor is present in the courtroom. Today's a date and time set for sentencing. What would you like me to know about your client today?
Your Honor, my client has said that he's been incarcerated for around 2 months, and tomorrow he has court for another matter in Madison Heights. So at this time, we're asking for minimum fines and costs and to close the file. My client wants to clear out this issue and take care of the other matter in Madison Heights so he can tend to his medical issues and his health concerns. He has a rod in his leg currently, and he has a permanent drop foot, which means he cannot control one of his feet. Not only that, Your Honor, he said that he is not getting all his proper medication while being incarcerated. And regarding his financial situation, he currently receives disability for $940. And his rent is $850.
Okay. Let's see, Mr. Fletcher was supposed to be here for sentencing way back in February, right? You remember that?
Yeah.
Okay, and then I don't know that we had any contact with you as of your sentencing date. You disappeared on us, and really at that point, I was just hoping that you were going to come back to see if there was any ability to clear up some suspension so that I could put you in a better position for sentencing.
I had like trouble with transportation. The only transportation I really get around in is, through my insurance company. And when I actually came to court, the day in question, and there was a young lady I had kept speaking to, and letting her know that I had to be out of here by 4 o'clock because I had surgery to be done, probably have these wounds or whatever. So she told me that she would get to the case after she, I got through discussing whatever with other people. And I sat out there in the hallway in the little middle row, and she just never got to me. And it got to the point where I had to leave, and I made her aware of that. And then I had left before I had my surgery.
Okay, so I just wanted to be clear in that sense, because your attorney is representing that you have some jail credit. That was, of course, never the intention for you to have jail on this case. It looks like you were finally back in custody somewhere. And then on September 19th, we were aware of that, and you were arraigned on this bench warrant, which has been open since February. So you do have some jail credit on this case because it looks like the magistrate took into consideration that you had holds on other cases and imposed a low bond so that at least you're going to get credit because you had to remain in custody on the other cases. So he doesn't have 2 months of credit, but he does have credit since he was arraigned on the bench warrant on September 19th. Clearly, he looks to be in a similar set of circumstances financially as it relates to disability. I don't know the nature of the other case now that's pending that has kept you in custody, but I think that I can sentence you today, and I would just simply sentence you to, 12 days of jail time, but 12 days credit for the time that you've received since you were arraigned on the bench warrant. The goal, of course, was to have you come back in February with some updates about your licensing and then just impose a fine and send you on your way. For whatever reason, that didn't work out. And now you've had to serve this jail time because of the other case you were also in custody on. But I think that is a sentence that is sufficient for sure. And fines and costs in this case, I'm going to hold off on imposing those so we can close the file at this point. Do you have any questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, and then last but not least, are you Tracy Williams?
Yes.
All right, could you stand up for me? This is 0002285, the people of the city of Troy versus Tracy Williams. State your name, sir.
Tracy Williams.
Mr. Williams, are you still using a mailing address on Raya Powell?
Yes.
So you were here today because I think we must have gotten notice that you were in custody and you had an outstanding bench warrant with our court because you had failed to appear for a show cause that was set back in January. Do you know that's why you're here?
No.
Okay, so the show cause date that you had set on January 12th was because the court had record that you owed the court fines and costs from this underlying matter and that you hadn't paid any of those fines and costs. So we set a court date for you to come in January 12th of 2024, so we could figure out why the fines and costs hadn't been paid, work with you to get them paid, but it looks like you didn't appear on that day, so a bench warrant was issued. So you've had a bench warrant in place since January of 2024. Does that make sense to you now?
Yes,
Do you remember this underlying case from 2020 where you were charged with no insurance and you pled guilty?
yes,
Do you remember that the court imposed fines and costs at the time of your sentence?
yes.
And to your knowledge, do you have any recollection of making any payments towards the fines and costs?
See, the case I had in Troy, they froze all my bank accounts and took all my money.
This case?
Not this one, I'm in Oakland County. They froze my bank account, took all my money.
Okay, so
And it
you,
been hard to get employment because I was on tether and couldn't go into certain areas. I was forced to quit work.
okay, so you have some other matters that you were having to use financial resources to pay off. Is that what
Yes.
you're saying? So I'll just put it out there and let you know, it's always better that you at least communicate with the court if that's the issue, so we can try to make some arrangements. In this case, by not coming to court for your court date, it created a bigger issue for you. I have here that you are a prisoner of the Michigan Department of Corrections right now, is that right?
Yes,
So you were just recently sentenced,
yes,
and this is holding you up, and they were trying to get this cleared before they took you out to MDOC and placed you somewhere. Does that sound right?
yes,
And you'll be there for the next 18 months?
yes.
All right, so I'm doubtful that we would be able to work out any sort of payment arrangement to get these fines and costs paid off, which, by the way, they're in the amount of $594 now. So if you're heading off to MDOC for the next 18 months, it's pretty difficult for me to expect that you will be able to maintain employment and get this paid. You were arraigned on this outstanding warrant on the 25th. So you've got about 6 days credit. So I'm just gonna give you a 6-day jail sentence with 6-day credit and then close the file out. So you ended up having to serve jail time instead of making arrangements to pay. The goal, of course, for you at the beginning when I sentenced you was not to impose jail time, but because of the way that this has all ended up, unfortunately, that's what has happened. And I don't really see it as a feasible solution to set up a payment plan for you, given your current status with MDOC. Do you have any questions about how we're handling this today?
No.
All right, you're all set. Thank you.
Be safe, be well, sleep sweet, and much love.